First of all, I'm going to demonstrate how this app works, and then I will briefly talk about the code. Here is the drag and drop image uploader component. All the uploaded images will be stored in my S3 bucket. Now it's empty. And you can drag and drop one image. You can drag and drop multiple images. And the second way to upload is to click and use the traditional way to select one or multiple images and upload. The uploaded images are listed below. There is also a delete function, but this delete function only works on the front end. It's not in sync with the S3 bucket. Okay, now let's talk about the code. This GitHub repo will be included in the description below. I will clone a new repo. So first of all, I will need to install the dependencies. This is for the backend, and for the front end, the React app, I will also need to install the dependencies. And then you will go to .env template, copy the variable names, and create a new file called .env. So these variables will be your environment variables and will be used in server.js right here. So instead of filling in the information here, you can also just paste the access key ID, the secret access key. You can paste them here, but personally I prefer using environment variables. And by the way, the images I just uploaded are here. So if you click on one and open, it will be downloaded. Great. And now let's fill in this information for access key ID and secret access key. You can find them here. Under your name, my secret credentials. Under access key, they're here. You can create a new access key, but you can have at most 2 keys. And AWS doesn't recommend using the root user's access key because there's no restrictions on the root user. So instead, they recommend using a new user. You can go to here, IAM, the user, and create a new user. I will call it new S3 demo. Give it programmatic access, which is using your web app to access S3 buckets. And then you will have to assign a group. I will create a new group. Group S3 access. And search for S3. Give this user, give this group full access to S3. Okay, so the user is created. You can download the CSV file containing the user's access key ID and secret access key. And since this user will be temporary for me, I will just copy the key ID, paste it here, and the secret access key. Great, and then we can go to S3 bucket. I will create a new bucket. Test upload images 2. This bucket name has to be unique. So if it doesn't allow you to create a bucket, you try some new name, and you have to unblock the public access, because if public accesses are blocked, you will not be able to show images on the website. And keep going. Good. So for the bucket, it's just a bucket name. You can copy and paste. For region, you can find them in the URL region equals US East 2. The other way to find region is under the bucket list. You can find region right here. Great. Now we should be able to upload images, but you have to configure the permission first. So I will show you what happens if you don't configure permission. Let's start. Okay. So I selected 4 images, but only 4 delete buttons are shown here. This doesn't mean that the images are not uploaded successfully. If you have a look at the bucket, they're actually here. But if you look at the console here, the error is failed to load resource. So this is actually because I didn't configure the permission properly. If you look at the image, it actually has the URL to an object in the S3 bucket, but if you paste it here, it doesn't give you the access. So you have to configure permissions, the bucket policy. You can use policy generator. For action, you will need get object and put object. In fact, you will only need put object for this app, since we're just uploading. And for the Amazon resource name, you can find them right here. Just copy and paste. Copy this policy, paste it here, save. If there's a error, that's because you need to add a slash and a star, which means this policy applies to all objects in this S3 bucket. So save. Now this bucket has public access. Let's delete all of them and re-upload. Great. So the images are successfully shown. Good. So now I will briefly talk about the code. Remember that the code is in the description below. So in server.js, it's the code for backend and uploading the files to S3 bucket. So although this is a image uploader, but it can actually be any file. I only used it to upload images because I want to show them on the web page. And in fact, you can actually upload any type of files to S3 bucket. For the server, I used AWS SDK. So you will need to create a S3 client in order to upload files to S3 bucket. And I also use Motor for uploading files. So Motor was used for processing multi-part form data. You can find some description in npm. So you can find some examples here. And I used memory storage. There are also other options. For example, there's disk storage, and memory storage is what I used. I used memory storage because it's enough for me. The ultimate goal is to store the objects in S3 bucket. So, and here I used upload.array. So this upload is this upload. Array means I will use this motor to handle multiple files, to handle an array of files. And another option is upload a single. So that's for a single file upload. Good. So here in the parameters, ACL public read means after uploading the images, I want them to be to have public read access. So that's because I want them to be shown on the web page. And without this public read, they will not be able to be shown on the website. And bucket is from the .env file. This is a bucket I used. Key. File.original name is just the image name on my computer. And body, file.buffer is the content, the data in bytes of this image. And the reason I keep this empty because I will demonstrate that instead of saving all the images in the bucket like this, you can actually add some folders like test folder slash. So after adding a folder name and a slash, S3 bucket will treat this as a real folder, and if it doesn't exist, it will be created. So if we upload some image now, oh wait, I might have to restart the server. Okay, let's try again. A test folder is created, and the images, the two images are here. And also, you can have more than one layer of nested folders. And if I refresh, oh, sorry, I forgot to restart the server. And of course, you can use nodejs to prevent restarting server every time. So I forgot to use it. If you drop again, refresh. So under test folder, you can find the test folder too. The two images are here. So after talking about the backend, I will talk about the frontend. Frontend code are in app.jsx. So the frontend is not very difficult. So after so in the render function, it's just the UI. And the component did mount it basically handles some animations or some color changes. For example, when I drag the images over this box, it turns green, and if I drag and leave this box, it goes gray. So that's what I did here. Drag center, drag over, drag leave, and drag drop. And the major functions for frontend are these two: handle drop and handle input by click. Handle drop is triggered when I drag and drop some images here. It's gonna upload the files. And handle input by click is when I click on it and upload some file. So these two functions will eventually call upload file. And upload file is gonna create a new form data object and add all the files I selected to the form data, and then using Axios to make a server call to upload image, which is in the server.js, which is right here. So to upload form data, the content type is multi-part form data. So during the uploading progress, I used this function to set the progress bar. So if I drop, you can see the progress bar growing. So that's what I did here. And after uploading all the files, a response is sent back to the front end. So let's see. So in this function, every file has been created with a promise. So I push every upload promise into a promise array, and then I execute all the promise. After all of them are executed, values will be returned. Let's have a look at what the values looks like. So this is the console for my server. The values looks like this. Key is the file name. So this is the first layer folder, this is the second layer folder, and then my file name. And bucket, and what I need is the locations. Location, this location, that's how I will access the images and put them on my web page. So what I did is send back the URLs. So I took out the URLs and then send them to the front end. After receiving the URLs, I pass them to preview files. The preview files simply add the URLs to my state, to an image array, and then the image array is rendered here with image and a delete button. If you delete, it's gonna remove the image URL from the state, from the image array. Great, that's all. Thanks for watching.